Hello and welcome. You're watching Closing Trades here on ET Now. I'm Harsh Saita. Let's take stock of where markets are at this juncture. We've traded in a 155-point band in trade today. But if I remove that initial spike, it's a very, very tight band that we're operating in, just about a 100-point band. Of course, we're at the higher end of that band, if at all I remove that initial spike, and that's the likely positive. But outside of that, let's talk about some stocks within the Nifty basket which are making moves. Bharti Airtel is doing fairly well for itself, and Axis Bank is standing out and in fact aiding the Bank Nifty as well. So that's on a couple of the gainers, but more losers than gainers, frankly, today. It's a muted set in terms of the advance decline, 39 declines to just 11 advances on the Nifty, and you're seeing a slew of stocks across sectors sitting in the red. Infi to start off with, 1% plus lower. Bajaj Twins, both Finance and Finserv, down over 1% as well. Geofin is also down over 1%. Hindalco, Tata Consumer, Interglobe and Tech Mahindra, all of them are down anything between 1.5% to 2%. So those are some of the big losers within the Nifty pack. Also in terms of contributors, Bharti, Axis, Reliance are probably the three only possible contributors which are doing fairly okay to chipping in to how the Nifty is doing. Some of the losers as well, Infi stands out among the losers. So no real big contributors on either the gaining or the losing side, frankly. Let's talk about sectors now. The Nifty Bank, that's the one which is standing out, 1/5% higher, continues to notch highs, which is the Nifty Bank. You've got Federal Bank, which is up over 2.5% in trade today. And Axis Bank, I spoke about that, but an AU Small Finance Bank, 1.2% higher on an AU Small Finance Bank as well. A Canara Bank also sitting in the green within the PSU basket, and there's Bank of Baroda also in that basket, which is sitting in the green. So that's on the Nifty, on the Bank Nifty. The big drag in trade today is the IT index. Now, it's 3 or 4 sessions that the IT index has now sat in the red, so not looking pretty. After the kind of rally we saw, of course, so to contextualize, we're seeing a bit of a consolidation. Tech Mahindra down 2%, Infi down 1%, Wipro down nearly 1%. So across the board, there's Coforge, Oracle Fin, also among the Nifty IT players, which are sitting in the red. The Nifty Realty is the other one, which is under pressure, 1.4% lower on the Nifty Realty Index. The Metal Index is down 1% as well. So broadly, those are the big sectors which are sitting in the red. But Kunal here to give us perspective on what he's seeing in markets. Kunal, it's not a bad day from where we saw it or what we had predicted at the start of day today. What's the sense you're getting?
Yeah, in fact, in the morning we were discussing that even if we hang around to that 26,000 mark, it should be a good day for the index, because we are trying to consolidate over here, and after this, I would say, decent rally for the index in the last few days. We should hang around to that 26K mark. The strength in the Bank Nifty is, of course, one of the more important feature of the rally. And in fact, today also you are seeing the Bank Nifty to be absolutely strong, of course, led by a mix of private sector as well as the PSU banking names today. I would probably look at this, that if there is a sharper correction across the globe, and even if we consolidate in those kind of time frames, it would be considered as good sign for the for our market specifically. And eventually, I think over the next couple of days, there could be a possibility that many of these global markets, especially the Asian indices, they would come back into a deep oversold territory. And from there on, we could probably go into a bounce back mode for many of the indices. If that happens, then I think that should act as a catalyst for our markets also over the near term.
Okay. All right. So that's on the Nifty. But the Bank Nifty, Kunal, is surprisingly resilient, and it's led by a set of banks which are very unlikely candidates. You spoke about Axis, I believe, at some point this week. We spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's leading the rally today, at least on the points contribution on the Bank Nifty. Talk to us about that, and talk to us about what are the stocks which are standing out, because the Bank Nifty is at all-time highs or very close to that point. Where's the resistance coming in where the Bank Nifty is concerned?
Yeah, so the Bank Nifty is almost at all-time high levels, and if you look at this in the context of the last 3-4 days, it's been consistent, because the fact that we are trading at closer to 59,000 mark on the banking index indicates that the strength is still quite persistent, on the banking index. Yes, today the mix is a little bit different, but then, calling out a trend on one single day may be a little difficult. We need to see evidences over the next couple of days whether private sector banking stocks and the larger cap names, which have been underperformers at large in this last leg of the Bank Nifty, whether they are trying to make a comeback or not. If we see that pattern emerging, and if we see many of the other private sector banking names participating, that will add to the positivity for the Bank Nifty overall going forward. So I believe that that's an important signal which we need to watch out for. But any which ways, 59,000 is a very important pivot zone for the Bank Nifty, and even if you consolidate over here for a couple of days, 100 200 points plus minus this range, I think that will be considered as an extremely positive sign for the banking index.
And IT, Kunal, that's the other one that stands out. What's happening there? Because now it's been quite a few days where the IT index has been under pressure, consecutive few days where IT index has been under pressure. What's the trend there?
Look at it this way, Harsh, that there was a 2,000 pointer rally for the IT index, 34,800 to 36,900 thereabouts. Now we have come back to 36,100 for the IT index, which means we've not even retraced 50% of the gains the IT index has shown. Now, the reason why the IT index is struggling to break past above momentum, we all know the reasons why, because there is lack of flow, news flow, event, etc. with respect to the IT names, and persistent with the kind of moves which has happened across the globe, Nasdaq, etc., which have gone through a correction in the last 1 week or so. It's adding to the pressure for the IT index. So it's a but natural kind of a movement for the IT index. What we need to see is that whether the 50% support gets broken or not. That level is around 35,800 for the Nifty IT index. If we don't break below this level, then you might have one odd day where few large cap names may falter, but the other mid cap names from the IT pack, they may try and support the IT index at large. But I think if we don't break below 35,900 mark on the spot levels, I would expect the Nifty IT index to make a bounce back pretty soon.